Welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the conference championships in the NFL playoffs right now with Jeff Cadillac from jeffcadillac.com. And this guy went 3-0-1 against the spread in the divisional round of the playoffs. The only guy who had a winning week. He swept the board last week, except for the push, of course. And now we're going to discuss Seattle, San Francisco. Jeff, thanks for being back with us.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
All right, now in our last video, you said maybe you're Houdini or something because you predicted that New England and Denver would be in the conference championship on your website, and then you just told me off camera that you also predicted San Francisco at Seattle on your website as well. Is that true? You picked all four of the final four teams?
That is true. That is correct. I am not lying. I do my playoff predictions back in August, and I actually predicted San Francisco and Seattle in the NFC Championship.
Are you Houdini or not? Do you have psychic powers, or is this just hard, cold handicapping?
Well, if I did, I would definitely pick the 6 lottery numbers and be done with it, you know?
I hear you. All right. Well, let's see what your powers of prediction can tell us about this game, San Francisco at Seattle. Now, the New England-Denver game has seen a lot of line movement, both on the spread and the total. This line has not moved much at all. It's been solid at Seattle, minus 3.5 since opening. The total opened at about 40, and now it's down to 38.5 or 39. But this line of Seattle minus 3.5 looks like it's pretty solid. I think that's where it's going to close right on the dot. What do you like here?
Well, I'll tell you something. When I started the playoffs, I said that San Francisco was the most dangerous wild card team in the playoffs. And I'm still sticking with it. I'm picking them for a third week in a row, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Well, first week they went into Green Bay. They beat Green Bay handily. Then they went to Carolina. They shut down Cam Newton and company. I mean, it was over in the second half there. I mean, San Francisco's defense is unbelievable. They are so good that they have linebackers in pass coverage, which is unheard of in the NFL. That they successfully are able to cover wide receivers and running backs coming out of the backfield. It's amazing. I mean, Jim Harbaugh, I can tell you right now, is almost like Lombardi-esque because he basically took a team, the same team that was under Mike Singletary, and they went 6-10, and he's taken them to 3 straight NFC Championship games. Basically the same personnel. Seattle, on the other hand, everybody says, oh, they're at home, they're going to win, they're this. Seattle offense has not looked good lately. In fact, the armor, there's a couple of dents in that armor up there in Seattle. You have the big loss to Arizona. You have last week, the offense didn't look good. Russell Wilson, his passes weren't looking too good. They pushed on that game. During the season, they almost lost outright to Tampa Bay. They had to go to overtime, and they were a big favorite in that game. They looked bad against Tennessee. This offense, if it wasn't for Marshawn Lynch with his big run last week, Seattle, they're definitely in trouble over there. But up against San Francisco, there's no kinks in their armor on defense. And then on offense, they got some big-time receivers. And Crabtree coming back is a big plus because now you have to cover him as well. You can't just say, okay, let him go. Because Kaepernick is smart in the pocket. What he does is he sees if Bolden is there. He sees if Crabtree is there. He's also got Frank Gore. And, of course, don't forget Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis can catch balls with double and triple coverage, and he's proven it before. If you look at the Seattle offense here, who is he throwing to? Golden Tate? And also Percy Harvin going out with that concussion. That's a big blow to the offense because he was supposed to be the go-to guy in the playoffs here for their push to the Super Bowl. Now you also have Frank Gore is going to definitely see a lot of play in this game because the run against Seattle, they're vulnerable. They're very vulnerable, and New Orleans proved that. If New Orleans would have stayed a little more to their run game, it might be a different story up there in Seattle. The pass game against Seattle, they're number 1 in the league. It's going to be very tough. But again, San Francisco has receivers, seem to get open. And I think right now, San Francisco is the team that can go up there and actually beat Seattle in Seattle and advance to the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what, if San Francisco covers these 3.5 points here, I'm going to officially dub you Houdini as your nickname. I might do it anyway, but definitely guaranteed if San Francisco covers the 3.5. All right, Jeff Cadillac from jeffcadillac.com, liking San Francisco plus 3.5. Thanks so much, Jeff.